Well, everybody, here we are. We made it all the way out to Concord, and right before us is Johny Paine, and he's got quite a history to talk about in the wrestling business and industry.
Iron Sheik.
What year would this be?
This would have been about 92.
Yeah.
Buzz passed like 93, and here I am with the Iron Sheik in about 96.
Nice.
Yeah, he kind of took me in as his protege, and we did some things together. I remember this filming down at the park like it was yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were trained by Buzz Sawyer, man. I mean, that's a good start right there. I mean,
there's Alex Smirnoff. Remember California days?
Right.
We went to the WWF with Alex up in Stockton, and a couple other shots too.
Right on. So Alan brought up a lot about him announcing at the Cow Palace Newark Pavilion.
Yeah.
Where's some spots that you remember? Because I grew up in Florida when the Florida territory was going, and all the everything else in Memphis before Vince took the monopoly on it.
Yes.
So. Is your history all in California or surrounding areas? Did you go up to Sacktown? Take
definitely.
it over. Yeah.
When I got into wrestling, the business went. Shh.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That was a jinx. The territories were just drying up. There was nowhere to go. Oregon was drying up. Was gone. All of them were gone. And went up to Sacramento to train with Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer at his wrestling school. And it was on the dark side of the ring. Everybody knows about how Buzz treated people and treated the trainees. But for some reason, he took me under his wing. And I know that though times got hard, that he cared. And, Buzz died, I think it was 93. And I worked a few times with him up in Sacramento. Our first match, we were in the Great Western Forum, I believe it is, where the LA Lakers play. My very first match, maybe my second match. Can't really remember. I think it was my second match. We're going down to LA, and I'm wrestling him, Superfoot Bill Monroe, a brother. And, Buzz wrestled the American Eagle. Sid Vicious is down there. Ric Flair's down there. Doom's down there. The Steiner brothers. And so let me tell you a funny story about that. I'm down in the locker room, and Magic Johnson's locker there. And Magic Johnson, a little bit bigger than everybody else's. You know? So I didn't think much of it. Buzz and I were there before the crew got in from WCW, the guys who run contract, because we wanted to make a good example. We were trying with Kevin Sullivan. He was talking about bringing us in as a duo to do the Black Scorpion gimmick and grow a little bit from there. So I threw my bag in Magic Johnson's locker. So Ric Flair comes in. Yeah, he's being Ric Flair. He knew my bag wasn't one of the night guys. He knew it wasn't the Steiners or Doom or Sid or something. And Rick was like, starts going on. Who threw their bag? Who's taking this bigger locker? Blah, blah, blah. I go, oh, I'm sorry, champ. That'd be me. I apologize. Well, Buzz comes out of the bathroom, and everything changed. Mm-hmm. He goes, Rick, he's with me. No, hey, man, how you doing? Hey, everything changed. Everybody, because in the back locker room, the bullies bullied the bullies, bullied the bully, and nobody bullied him. So we went outside, we talked with Rick and everything like that. Like I said, Buzz died about a year or so later. And when I went back, everything had changed. Everybody was like, at Road Warrior Animal, actually took me aside and said, you're not his boy. He's not loved here. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I was with Earthquake Ferris. We were doing something as a tag team there, Shake and Bake. And then I started wrestling in Las Vegas with the NWC. And it was a great thing with T.C. Martin, Doc Martin. I loved it. And I was being pushed. I was wrestling a couple times every time they did it. And on their TV every time, just squashing guys. Loved the boys, the undercard boys. Those were the guys that hang out with the snobbish, entitled over guys coming in. They were pretty cool though, the guys that TC brought in. Got to work with the Warrior, you know, like I said, my mentor, the Iron Sheik, Honky Tonk Man, loved him. Virgil was there, worked with Virgil and such. But I was working with the undercard guys, just smashing them. And selling nothing, just going through them like Goldberg was doing in WCW. Building it. So that was awesome. And Rob Van Dam was up there, Sabu. You know, God bless him, he just left the other day.
Yeah.
And then the Iron Sheik invited me down to Atlanta. We went down and did some things down there. And we went to the CNN Center, yeah, where WCW was filming. And so I was with the Iron Sheik, and of course, you can walk in the back of any wrestling locker room with the Iron Sheik, right? I mean, he made wrestling. He gave the torch to Hulk Hogan, and Hulk ran with it, and Sheik helped made wrestling because he was so hot at the time. So we're back there, and Kevin kind of remembered me, and I was talking to Paul Orndorff, and Paul was going to be my go-to guy to go to Kevin. So Kevin tells Paul, go get Vader for the interviews. Well, that little interaction didn't go well. I was right there. A lot of boys talk about it on shoot interviews. They're full of shit because half the guys who are here to talk about, I mean, I was right there. Front row tickets to Vader and Paul, you know, beating the hell out of each other. So that didn't help our Sheik and ours that night because they just, you know, I don't know if you heard about Paul Orndorff and Vader went at it. And then Vader went and cleaned up his face and came back for a rematch in the TV room. And it was just sounding like somebody was pounding beef. Finally, the Sheik pulled Paul off and Ming pulled Vader off. You know, and everybody knows about Ming. But Ming liked Vader a lot. And the boys were tired. It was time for the fight to end. So that kind of killed our WCW thing there. And then the next day I went to the training center with the Sheik. And so the 2 days where I say I got fired by 3 billionaires in 3 days.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
Donald Trump starting the USFL again. You know, it's back years and years ago, long before the politician thing. And we did a little tryout for local football, and I wouldn't do a lot of the running they wanted us to do. So he said, you guys go. Well, he didn't say it, but he said, you go. So anyway, that didn't work out. But I didn't want it to. I wanted to go into wrestling. So we're down at WCW training camp, and one of the head trainers, Jody Hamilton, was there running it. And he said, I said, well, Jody, you got to see my resume, you know, my tapes, my pictures. And Sheik was talking to Kevin Sullivan, was talking to Eric Bischoff. What'd you think? And he goes, oh, I didn't like the way you spit all over the place. Well, here he is. He's drooling his chewing tobacco down his front of his face, all over his shirt, all over this big fancy desk. I mean, a gorgeous desk. And he's sitting there sweating like a hoss in his tank top. He's drooling his chewing tobacco. Mine's a gimmick. I go get some Alka-Seltzer, I'll throw it in my mouth, I'll drool all over for you. I was and then I went off. I told him what I thought of him saying that to me. And I went off and unfortunately I didn't hold back. And the Sheik said, oh, Johny Paine, I can't believe it, let's go. So we knew that was not a good thing.
Yeah.
We go out that night. What a coincidence. Tatanka walks by. And back then, the Smoking Guns, Billy Gunn was with Bart. Remember them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smoking Guns.
Yeah. So I'm like, we're at a club. And I go, Sheik, those are WWF guys. WWE, whatever it was called then. I go, those are WCW guys. And Tatanka came up, was very friendly, and we talked to a couple of the guys. And somebody said, yeah, come to tomorrow night or in Orlando where the Magic played basketball or shoot Monday Night Raw. And Sheik and I went down there and talked to Pat. And Pat knew me from Allen. He said, oh, I've heard really good things about you. And they kept saying, we're going to put you on a match later on. Stay dressed. put my gimmick on, my gear on and everything. I've got the Alka-Seltzer ready. The hell with you. WCW. Watch my language here. Dropped it in there, got it ready, and went out. We did a match. Somebody had told me, because Sheik said, don't sell for this kid, a little small kid, a wrestler, and don't put him over. Just, stretch him a little bit. And I did. But somebody told me he was with The Office, carrying the bags and doing other things. And so Pat Patterson was really upset about that, but he could have really cared. He wasn't overly happy with the fact that I stretched the kid on one area, but she told me to. So Sid loved it. Sid Vicious was there that night to debut as the bodyguard to Shawn Michaels. So I come in the back and somebody tells me go get paid over there in a room. Pat Patterson, and I want to say Jim Ross and Arnold Skolin. Doesn't really matter. One other guy, the top office guys under Vince McMahon himself. And I met Vince that night. He was really excited to see the Sheik, and Sheik had an idea for us to come in together. Vince didn't hate the idea, I could tell, but he was very busy. So Pat gives me $50. He goes, "Oh, you want to get paid?" I could tell, okay, he's going to start gritting me. He handed me $50, and I crumpled it up and threw it back at him. Hits him in the face and falls on me. I go, "I guess your company needs this more than I do." Because I was insulted by, And Sheik's like, "Shut it, Pat, I can't believe you did it again." And he goes, "Come on, let's go." And as I was going out, I heard either Pat or Jim say, "Oh, he thinks he's Hulk Hogan. Look at him going out there." And I stormed out. And he goes, I said, "Let's just go back to Vegas. Let's work the Vegas shows. Let's work some of the independent Sheik." These guys are thinking I ripped into him a little bit. I mean, I ripped into Jody the night before, or the day before at the WCW hard. I ripped into Pat Patterson a little bit, who's, right, Vince McMahon's right-hand man. I was insulted and bothered by it. And so Sheik and I are walking out. Here's a good story. And Vince McMahon is in a closet with Bret Hart. Bret Hart, you could tell, was hot. He was talking about the Clique. He was upset with Shawn and them and talking about things he didn't want to do, wanted to do. Door was open a little bit. It didn't matter what they were saying. I wasn't not going to bury anybody. Nobody would care. But I said, "Sheik, let's go in there." And he goes, "Oh, Johnny, he's having a meeting. It sounds..." I go, "Sheik, you made this company." And he did. I go, "You're the Iron Sheik. You passed the torch to Hulk Hogan that night. You made this company, Billy. Let's go in there." And Sheik's like, "Yeah. And he goes storming in the office. He goes, "Hello, Joe, we wanted to talk," and boom, boom, boom. And Bret, very professional, of course, turns around, shakes my hand, talks. When Vince goes, "Yeah, that sounds really cool." That's when Sheik ran the idea by him about him and I together. And Vince goes, "Yeah, that sounds okay. I kind of like it." He goes, "Go back and talk to Pat about it." Pat, and he named like two other guys. And I'm thinking, those are just, those are the guys just in the office I threw the money at. That ain't going to go well. So Sheik, I said, "Let's just go back. I'll drive us home." And we drove home from Orlando to where Sheik lived in Atlanta. Probably drove 3-4 hours that night. I don't know. But heck, we kept our dignity and our respect. And also that night, the guy, I believe now that business and the guys in the locker room run it better now. They treat each other better. Somebody did something, you can imagine, in Rip Rogers' bag. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Rip's going around town to town getting matches. I think they thought it was me because I wouldn't take somebody's drug test. He wanted me to take it for him because they asked me, "Can you, we're getting drug tests now. Can you pass the drug test?" One of the office guys. I said, "Yes, I can pass the drug test right now, yesterday, tomorrow, and whenever you want. I'm ready to go because I'm clean. Always have been." And so
well, that's what I have to say right off the bat. Is just you're probably like very few guys in the industry, just too real to go along with the kiss ass politics. And You know, and I'm in the music business, and the same thing. It's very cliquey with the promoters, with the people who run the record labels. They would rather put their best friend on who literally sucks, or put somebody on the wrestling world who's, you know, just because of who they know and not what they got to offer.
Happened all the time.
Man, I believe it, brother.
And especially that now to get to the TV, they're gonna put somebody on they want, but also and to be on TV, you got to be really good at wrestling. In the independents, my brother, my cousin, my girlfriend, whatever, you know, the promoter's gonna put on his buddies and put them over. I couldn't do that.
And I have to mention this too. A lot of these wrestlers now have these podcast shows, and I've been watching. To me, the true heroes of the wrestling world have always been the underdogs, and I have to say Stevie Richards is one of them.
Yeah.
His podcast is amazing because he keeps it real brutally honest.
Yeah.
And he even said the gimmick when they put him in the old lady dress and this stuff, and it's like, you know, to stoop so low when you know you just have more to offer than that, you know, and I'm sure you can add on to that on being these stupid gimmicks that people are stuck with, and it kind of kills their career before it even gets started, man. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, a guy like that who could work anything, work with anybody.
He was in every company,
Yeah.
and yet, you know, it was one horrible thing after another, you know?
Office likes to entertain themselves in wrestling.
Yeah.
They got their big draws, their Hulkamania, their John Cena, their Rock, the Stone Cold, whatever, drawing big money, and then just like entertain themselves doing just insulting stuff to wrestling. It's like, hey, I wrestle, you want to come over and watch the wrestling show? And then you got a stud like Perry Saturn when they put him in the dress, running around with Moppy, the mop,
Unbelievable, man.
And Perry Saturn was a stud, a true tough guy.
Remember the run where him and Kronos, the Eliminators? I mean, that was solid, you know what I mean? And I've always liked, you know, guys like that, like Benoit and Saturn and Guerrero. Just really tight. Malenko is another one, man. Just, you know, real wrestlers. But yeah, to do that to Perry, man, I mean, it was ridiculous in the worst way, you know.
It's embarrassing. And you turn into wrestling, you see the Kiss My Butt Club.
I know.
You know, where they just going on. You got all this talent in the back. And
remember the most terrible gimmicks of ever, like Doink the Clown, Duke the Dumpster. I mean, it was just really downhill. I mean, luckily the Attitude Era kind of like saved him a little bit.
I wrestled Doink the Clown several times.
Is that right?
Remember the real Doink, Matt? I wrestled the one who took over for Matt. You know, Matt Bourne was Doink. Yeah. And I don't remember his name. It sounded like some guy out of Brooklyn. I don't think it was the Brooklyn Brawler. But then Don Juan, a buddy of mine who came out of Colorado, he put it on. I mean, everybody was putting it on at an independent show. He was going to come in and sue them. And they did it fine. But, you know, I'm sorry, I couldn't sell for that.
Yeah.
I couldn't sell. When Doink, with Maniac Matt Bourne, who was Buzz Sawyer's tag team partner, kind of did the crazy clown and, you know, faded the makeup a little bit. It could kind of work it, but it was just dumb. And but I wrestled Doink the Clown. I'm sorry, I couldn't sell for that. I wrestled Virgil. I could sell for that. Him, you know, doing his gimmick. And
here's another guy who because he was always in the shadow of Ted DiBiase, and you know the sidekick for Million. It's like, you know, you kind of so you're on TV, you're getting a little bit of money, but you're never really becoming the wrestler. You're just more of an eyepiece and like the bodyguard. It's like, that's also selling talent short that would be, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
How many guys did they do that to? That was just
too many, man.
They could, and you know, it was just ridiculous. And
because in the end, a lot of people, they wanted to get paid, and they didn't really care about the dignity and the, you know, to be you know, just a real and sticking to their guns, you know. So I like your impression. You must have spent a lot of time with the Sheik because that impression. Remember the Hall of Fame induction ceremony when he goes, Hogan, you're nothing but a jabroni. Yes. That was the best, right?
Sheik, I must have heard that story 100 times. Yeah. Oh, let me tell you a cool story when I wrestled the Iron Sheik. So I'm squashing these guys, and I love these guys I'm squashing. I used to tell them before I went out, I go, hey, brother, I'm going to hit you kind of hard, but you know I love you. I don't mean anything. I'm going to buy you a dinner or beer, whatever you want after the match. Yeah. And they took it all like champs. I never stiffed anybody because that's no talent. Guy's sitting there giving you his head, and you headbutt him or you punch him with a factor where you give him a concussion. That's just dumb. That's careless to the guy's well-being, the guy's health and safety. But they were feeling it. But when there were a lot of guys on the independents that you were so marks out for themselves, I assume anybody who's watching this knows what a mark is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, power bombing the guys through the canvas, hitting them stiff. I mean, that just takes no talent. Just go out and fight somebody then if you want to do that in the UFC. I mean, but a good work punch looks better. So, what story was I going to say on now? I had a good one there. Oh, the Iron Sheik. So anyway, I'm squashing the guys in just a couple minutes, and I get into Vegas, and Doc goes like this. He goes, hey, Johnny, come on in here. We're holding a meeting in their hotel. And he goes, hey, Johnny, I'm going to make a dream come true. I always roomed with the Sheik when we went to Vegas. He goes, I'm going to make a dream come true, brother. I don't know why it happened that night to be that way or the next night. You're going to wrestle the Iron Sheik, your mentor. Thought, that's weird. Why? I'm squashing all the guys. 3 thoughts going through my head. Squashing all these guys. Why am I wrestling the Iron Sheik? But it's an honor.
Yeah.
Great. So and I respected T.C. Martin, Doc. He was awesome out of Vegas. He goes, in fact, I just saw him finally last year. I'm going to see him again this year. He announces the Las Vegas Aces game. When they came down in San Francisco, played our girls down here. He goes, I go, great, great. He goes, Sheik's up there in the hotel. I go, great, I'll go up there. And he goes, he doesn't know yet. Can you go tell him? I go, oh, okay. And then he goes, and can you tell him you're going to go over? Okay. And he goes, and yeah, Sheik's what? At this time, it's 90s, just maybe 10 years after passing the torch to Hulk Hogan in Madison Square Garden, sold out arena. He goes, and you got to go about only 5 minutes. You got to keep yourself strong. Uh-huh. But Sheik loves you, Johnny. He'll do that for him. Like, okay. So I'm going to go up to the hotel room, tell Sheik he's going to job for me in 5 minutes or less. So I go up there in the hotel room, and Sheik's all Johnny Paine, you know, we're hugging each other. Johnny, I love seeing you. I love it. I go, Sheik, I got some news for you. He sits down, I remember it like it's yesterday. He sits down on the edge of the bed. I go, I'm sitting in a chair off him a little bit. I go, Sheik, we're going to wrestle tomorrow. Each other. He goes, oh, Johnny, I can't believe it. And he starts going, this is what we'll do, Johnny, but this and this and this. I go, he had a bad ankle at the time. He couldn't do a lot, but he was strong as a horse. I go, okay, yeah, we'll do all that, yeah. I go, Sheik, one more thing. You got to put me over in like 5 minutes. And he goes, he stops, he looks around, like it's just right there. He looks to the side, he looks down. Felt like it took an hour, it probably took 30 seconds. He looks up and goes, Johnny Paine, I love you. I love you like a brother, Johnny Paine. I'll put you over. He goes, however many years ago, I put Hulk Hogan over in Madison Square Garden for $500,000. Tomorrow night, I'll put Johnny Paine over for whatever he's getting paid. He says, only because I love you, Johnny, I'll build you. This is how we'll do it. I said, okay, Sheik, we'll do it any way you want. And so, in the match, he gave me the Iron Sheik suplex where he gut wrenches you up to his shoulders and then drops you. Because he had the bad ankle, he couldn't really walk well. So, he goes to pick me up. My fault, my timing was off, I sat. Because I didn't help him at all. In fact, I held so we could do it again. He horsed me up. I was 280 pounds. I'll show you a picture here in a minute. Right, this one right there. Probably that one right there. 280 pounds. And he picks me up, spins me around, gets me on top of his shoulders. And back then I was wearing this gimmick here. That's, of course, Alex Smirnoff behind me.
Nice.
The leather harness thing. I wish I could find it. I don't know where it's at. Did the gimmick with the... I didn't spit on the iron sheet. And then he drops me. He still was able to get me up. I remember all the promoters with the Alka-Seltzer, except for, of course, down there where I yelled at the guy. They'd always say, I want you to drool all over the guy after you beat him. Drool at the end of the match. I could never do that. But promoters would get so mad because they, it's easy to put it in your mouth, the Alka-Seltzer, a little bit of squirt of water, foams all over. You run out to the ring, get a big thick beard, spits everywhere. It looked great. Big white foam like I got rabies. And then after I beat the guy, I used to think, well, where am I going to carry it? I put it in my trunks. I flipped it out, picked it up. Disgusting. Didn't work. I had my buddy, the referee, David Hogue. He carried it. He handed it to me, put it in my mouth was too dry, and it would just taste like a big salt pill.
Damn.
And so it never, they'd always get so mad that it didn't work. Remember wrestling the Navajo Kid, who was a competitive Masters World Strongman champion now. He just wrestled his last match against Samoa Joe. Check it out on his streaming, YouTube. And I could never get it to see. He's like, that's all right. You don't have to spit all over me after you come out to the ring, but I definitely wouldn't get any on the shake.
I want to get a close-up of this, too.
That'd be great.
Such a great. So you said these were made up into T-shirts and that's pretty awesome, man.
Put it
I
on
love
my sweatshirt.
comic book drawings and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to ask
it's
you
not
too.
drawing off my real body.
You were, man. I mean, look at this weight room. I mean, dude, you wow. I mean, and you were a lot bigger back then, and you seem like you slimmed down a lot, man. I mean, since those days.
I'm gonna be 60 in July, and I'm 22 there. So at 22, it's easy to carry 280 pounds and bench press 500 pounds compared to now. But hey,
you know, one thing,
can't do it.
I got to bring this up because one thing I couldn't stand about the business is when, say, they bring these ridiculous celebrities, if you even want to call them that, like Travis Scott, doesn't even know anything about the business, hurts people in the process. Raja Jackson, a Nepo baby, son of never struggled. He comes in there and almost takes this guy's life. I mean, it's so ridiculous when they're trying to get these names of people who really don't matter in the end. And then they end up hurting people. And I think in the end, it hurts the business more and more. It's just more.
Especially when they put them over.
I know, exactly. And then somebody who's a real trained wrestler doesn't get a shot because, their name's not in the fucking spotlight. It just always killed me. I'm like, man, I mean, it so takes away from the real wrestlers in the business. It just kind of chops down the great tree that it is, in my opinion, man. I mean, give me some feedback on that.
Here's a perfect example. So I'm going to wrestle in a pretty good crowd up in a casino, and the promoter goes, "Hey man, this guy's bad-mouthing wrestling on his radio show."
No, fuck yeah.
And so we want you to wrestle him, and want you to stretch him. I go, "Sure, no problem. I'd love to." And he goes, "Hey Johnny, he's talking real smack about it." No problem. He goes, "Do everything to him, just don't break a bone, don't cut him, but stretch him. Teach him a lesson about respect." I'd love to. So I get up there, and he's in the ring with a trainer, who Jesse Hernandez, who I knew well, from down in San Bernardino. And he was showing him a few things, and he goes, "Hey Johnny, you want to come in? This is the radio guy." I go, no, he doesn't need to learn anything. I'll take him through everything. And they both kind of stopped and looked at me. Because I said it kind of rude. I said, "No, I'll take care of it." I didn't say I'd take care of him. I said I'd take care of it.
Yeah.
We'll be in the ring. And so a couple hours go by. I did a couple matches with Silver Wings and them earlier in the night. And then they bring him out. And he brings this shooter And he brings out he told me Canada, and the kid's wearing a hood. Yeah, I'm a kid back then. Mask. So all of a sudden there's two of them. And I took the shooter and I pulled him in the corner and I was chopping him, pro wrestling style. Chops hurt, man. I always thought they were ridiculous because who's gonna chop? You get you